what do you think each one of us can learn from the story of your grandparents? Because it's such an exceptional story. To me, it just seems like the unlikelihood that they would take what seems like a difficult situation without a lot of opportunity and then, somehow turn that into a kind of a social activism. That to me is what's so amazing. So, yeah, could you speak on that a little more?
You can really take any situation and you can turn it around and direct it in the way you want to go. Also, rules were sort of meant for breaking a little bit.
Unfortunately, two of your advisors couldn't be here today, but Nina Wynnum is in Finland right now. We're trying to Skype her in, but she's, I think, stuck in a meeting. Yeah. But this will be uploaded on YouTube, so she'll be able to see it tonight or her morning. The question that she has for you is, what did you learn from the experience of conducting your interviews? How might you use this skill in the future?
I really learned that asking questions will get you so many different places. Like, I asked questions that weren't on my sheet, and I learned so many different things. Like, I learned I never knew much about their story. I learned so much, and that maybe I can take this with me on my journey to, I don't know where.
She also asks, how might the lessons about diversity and inclusion that you learned from your grandmothers affect your own path and actions in the future?
It affects me now, and it will definitely affect me in the future. It gives me the opportunity to look at a person and not judge them. Not be like, why are you here? It's, oh, hey, you're just on the street. It's normal. And it gives me the opportunity to see the world through, difference. Not difference, I can't think of the word. Just see the world and see everybody as the same, basically.
This is from your other advisor, Nell Dumbrell-Mayrink. She says, good work, Miss Gibney Treleaven, and congratulations on completing your Masterworks. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to watch and applaud and congratulate you in person. But her questions are, has your research led to a new appreciation of your grandmothers, and in what ways?
It has led to a new appreciation, because when I was little I thought, oh yeah, my grandmothers help people, that's all they do. And they're also my grandmas, and they spend too much money on me. But then I really realized that, whoa, they're changing lives, like they're changing the world as we see it today. They have changed laws, like what? This is insane. So it's changed, especially growing older, it's affected really the way I see them, and yeah.
We spoke a little bit about this with Jesse and Nell in a conversation about why a magazine article would be a good thing for you to write. Can you expound on that a bit more, and specifically about how it gives more people access to your words?
Well, magazine articles, they're shorter, right? So my book compared to my magazine article is 20 pages compared to 4 pages. And it gives a summary of what happened very quickly. So I find when I read a book, I lose interest. Halfway through the book, I'm like, okay, can you get on with it? But when I read a magazine article, I'm intrigued for the whole thing. So it gives a good summary of the magazine article, and it's also very easy because books, if you publish them online, I don't think many people read online books unless they're on Kobo or any of those applications. But if you have a magazine article on a website, people will read through that, because CBC, so many other news networks have magazine articles on their sites.
Do you think you'll approach some of those magazines, and we even talked about the Globe and Mail or any of the alternative press communities? Would you like to approach them with your magazine article?
I would like to. One of my coaches actually knows someone, and she wants to meet with me once she gets back from her trip, wherever to. So.
Well done, Miss Gibney Treleaven.
It's 2017. We have a new lexicon. I'm going to ask you what this means, and I'm going to ask you why it's important that we know what it means. So here's the question. What does LBGTQIA plus mean?
Okay.
Anyway.
L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B stands for bisexual, T stands for transgender, Q stands for queer, help me, intersex, and A is asexual, and then plus is so many other genders and sexualities out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
We actually had a session with heads of school, in fact, to kind of go through this, because you do have to keep up, because things are changing quite a bit. What did you say I meant? What did you say I was? Do you know what that means? Well, can she know what it means?
Thank you, Bev. Or Jesse. Jesse.
In transition, yeah. I see.
Thank you, Jesse.
And the point of plus was that, you know, there's more coming, or is that the idea?
There's so many more out there, and
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Questions from the floor?
Good job, Colleen. Sorry. No. Good job. That was really great. What would you say was the hardest part about your Masterworks?
Doing the research and the writing, because this project meant so much to me and my family, and I was like, what if I don't do something right? What if I let them down? But I just kept on going because I knew that it would be important to have it out there, and yeah.
Good job on your presentation. My question would be, what would you say the most emotional part of like your whole project would be for you?
The writing and doing the research on my grandmothers, and it's after my grandma died, it's been really hard for me, so doing all that research and writing, it was super, super hard, but I got through it, and it really expanded my horizons, I guess, as you could say.
How many times throughout the project do you think like you just wanted to just say, I just want to like finish this?
Well, Hudson, can you help me with this one? A lot, but I knew to keep on going, and I'd been waiting 4 or 5 years for this, so I knew, you know what, gonna do this.
Good job. What was the most interesting part that you found most interesting to learn about during this project?
Well, definitely my grandma's history. Also, it's the funniest thing, the fact that I learned about the cropping of at the limbs. I don't know why that was so interesting to me. Everybody who I met for the next week, I was like, hey, do you want to know this fact? And I just, it's the most amusing thing.
I think it's incredible that you wrote that magazine article. I think it's very cool. Do you think that now you might get into the biz of writing magazine articles?
No, thank you. I love writing it, but I don't think, writing is not my strong suit sometimes, so I don't think I'd like that as my career. But maybe I'll write one more. I don't know. We'll see. Music or roller derby. Either one.
Does your purple hair have a connection to, like, did you do it especially for this presentation, or, because before I knew it was blue, yeah.
I paid $200 so my hair would match.
Well, it's worth it, it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Other questions from the floor? Yes, of course. Sorry.
After hearing your grandma's story, do you believe that like more changes over the world can happen on LGBTQAI plus rights? Like, do you believe that like one person can change the world?
One person and all of us. We can all change the world if we get together and, really try. We can really change the world. And I think we're going to get so much more equality, and hopefully that's the case, and the world's going to change.
Are there any other questions? Because if not, one more, yep.
Great presentation, Miss Gibney Treleaven. I also want to add that even though myself and my partner Bridget are the subject, I also want to say that we have learned an enormous amount from being your grandmas, that we were not mothers, we never had any kids. And so we've learned a lot more about children and about young people and about teenagers in today's world, and no, I know that I can speak for Bridget that we were both very grateful to have been taken in by your mothers and by you into your lives. Thank you.
I forgot my question, so I'm just going to say how fun it was to go through all those photos with you and to sort of recreate your grandmother's lives with you. It was nice.
Funny story, actually, when I was little, they used to follow small children around my age around Toys R Us so they know what to get me.
Congratulations. Can I ask what your relationship with your grandmothers was like before you knew how they changed the world in that way?
Ooh, it's a tough one. Thanks. My relationship with my grandmothers was, they're my grandmas, right? Like, that's all they do. They're my grandmas. But that's all I really thought about them was they're my grandmas. I love them. They're like my parents, right? But they're not. That makes sense, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other questions? You have some books here. What are you going to do with the books?
Oh, so one of them, the one that's standing up, is for IPS. Oh. So you guys get that in the library. I already gave you yours. And one second. Grandma Chris, can you come up here, please?
I think that's a perfect way to end the questions. We're going to take a break. We'll call you back in about 10 or 15 minutes. Thank you very much for your presentation.